Hello and welcome for the first time to a Cygnus Destroyer Top 10. Wow, that's something that I thought I would never say. I was opposed to the idea of doing top 10s for the longest time, but I recently changed my stance on doing them, and I'm glad I did, since I think this will be a lot of fun. I'm going to try to be a little more unique in my list, but I may decide to do some of the standard ones at some point in the future. For my first top 10, I've decided to focus on a topic that's near and dear to me. Games based on licensed properties. It should be no surprise to anyone who's familiar with my shows The LJN Defender and Innocent Till Proven Guilty that I enjoy games that are considered to be crap by most, and licensed property titles are widely held to be among the crappiest. While the criticism of these cash grabs is sometimes justified, there are some releases that aren't as bad as they're made out to be, and I'm going to talk about 10 of them, starting now. A number of you out there are probably thinking, who's Ultraman? Ultraman was sort of like the Power Rangers, but before Super Sentai even existed. Long story short, whenever giant monsters wreak havoc, Shin Hayata turns into Ultraman, a very powerful alien warrior, and he quickly obliterates them before they cause too much damage. The Super Nintendo release based on the classic Japanese franchise perfectly sticks to the concept of the source material. A monster appears, Ultraman arrives to battle it, and he has to destroy it within a short time span or else he will lose his powers. Ultraman may be a difficult entry in the fighting genre and a bit repetitive. But it looks great, sounds great, and delivering the finishing blow on the opponents is oh so satisfying. I loved the Toxic Crusaders cartoon when I was a kid, but I had no idea that it had such mature origins. Anyway, I owned the Genesis version based on the show when I was a kid, and I had a lot of fun with it. It had me right from Toxie riding a motorized skateboard, avoiding cars, and blasting polluters into itty-bitty pieces. Toxic Crusaders is super cool, and it knows it. Of course, like most licensed games, it's not without its flaws. Toxie can lose health very quickly, especially when confronted by those annoying helicopters, and he's a total wimp when it comes to water. On the other hand, motorized skateboards. Need I say more? Ren and Stimpy were huge in the early 90s, so of course there were going to be video games based on it, and the highlight to me was always Vidiots. This one, more than any of the others, captured the essence of the series. The jazzy soundtrack hits the right note, the visuals and controls are crisp and tight, and best of all, the humor and wackiness is completely intact from the classic Nicktoon. This was one of my favorite carts in my Super Nintendo library as a kid, and it remains one of my favorites to this day. It may have only had a loose connection to the classic Capcom fighter, but the film starring Jean-Claude Van Damme and Raul Julia is a lot of fun, and I'll always defend it. But not that one. No, not that one. Nope. No. Don't expect me to. Can't defend it. Nope. Nope. Never in a million years. Nope. That one is just... No, that one's not even so bad. It's good. It's just... Just don't watch it. Do yourself a favor. Don't watch that movie. Getting back on topic, The game based on the movie based on the game is equally as fun. It's really no different than Street Fighter 2, except that it uses the actors as the digitized representations of the familiar characters. All of the standard moves are included, and performing them is nearly as tight as in its predecessor. On top of all of that, there's a fantastic story mode where the player controls Guile and can lead him on branching paths in his quest towards defeating Bison. Fighting fans that own a Saturn or PS1 should definitely pick this up. It should come as no surprise to longtime viewers of my videos that I'm a big Dragon Ball fan. While I prefer the adventures of Kid Goku, I can't get enough of the Super Saiyajin action fest that is Z, and one of the console offerings based on that series that I think has the most unfair reputation is Sagas. Unlike the majority of the DBZ titles of the time, which were firmly in the fighting genre, Sagas is a 3D action adventure. From finding the 7 titular balls to charging up ki blasts such as the Kamehameha, most of the signature DBZ traits and events are present and well represented in Sagas. I love how they retain the going to another dimension references from the Ocean Dub censorship days.
I'll send you to the next dimension.
Adversaries which manage to succeed in transporting Yamcha into another dimension.
I think I know what you need. A nice trip to another dimension. One way, of course.
The only real complaint I have is that it ends before the Buu Saga and Goku taking on the Super Saiyajin 3 form, my personal favorite. I mean, do you see that hair? How badass is that? Sagas is far from perfect, but it's much better than it's made out to be by critics. It's true that it can glitch out occasionally, like when Goku completely disappeared during the fight with Raditz for this capture session, but these glitches can lead to hilarious results. Case in point, this. Sagas don't ever change. I'll be honest, I've never really been that into the Godzilla films, but this NES release is right up my alley. It takes elements from many different genres, side-scrollers, beat-em-ups, fighters, even strategy titles, and mashes it all into one glorious beast of a licensed tie-in. The monster sprites and space settings are beautiful, the controls are very responsive, and the soundtrack by Masatomo Miyamoto is sublime. The intro cutscene theme is one of my favorite NES tunes, and I've used it in multiple videos. Godzilla is very much an underrated gem, and while it may not be as satisfying to fans of the franchise as the releases for later consoles, this still stands tall and strong like the iconic reptilian creature himself. I probably already said more than enough about Back to the Future, but I really do like it a lot, and it's grown more and more on me since I made the LJN Defender pilot episode. I know a lot of people consider it to be one of the abominations from the Rainbow of Doom, and they're allowed to have that opinion. It's true that it doesn't have a lot to do with the films, and it's very repetitive, not to mention the annoying version of Power of Love on crack that functions as the soundtrack. In spite of all that, I thrive off the challenge provided by it. Those later stages can be a huge pain in the ass, but once you get the bowling ball and skateboard and start zipping by the bees and other enemies, you feel like you can take on anything. Getting by those street levels in itself is a huge accomplishment, but making it to the DeLorean and crossing the finish line at 88 miles per hour? That's a feeling like no other. one may not fit the traditional definition of license, but I think it still counts because of the Aerosmith tie-in. Plus, I just love this game, and I have since I played it for the first time in my local arcade back in the day. The premise is simple. The New Order Nation has taken over and made everything that is awesome in life illegal. On top of that, they're rounding up everyone of a certain age in order to stop any possible rebellions. In short, life sucks, and we have to do something about it. We take the role of one of the remaining free teenagers, and it's up to us to overthrow the buzzkill non-empire and rock out to some Aerosmith in the process. In Revolution X, music is the weapon. Literally, CDs are used as extra powerful ammunition blasts. If that's not enough to convince you, how about the fact that Steven Tyler himself serves as a mentor to our hero?
If you're watching this, then they've taken over. It's up to you now. Find our car and stop the New Order.
Revolution X is the definition of cheesy awesome, and I adore every level of it. TMNT! They were and still are so freaking cool! Everyone loved the Heroes in a Half Shell in the 80s, so why is there so much hate for the first NES release? Sure, it's not this, but not even this fully lived up to that, and what we got for the first NES entry is still damn good. It's a solid platformer with extremely tight controls, especially in regards to the jumping mechanics. It's far from perfect and it has its share of flaws, but overall, this Turtles title is so much fun! The retro gaming community recently came up with a challenge called the Red Swayze, where the player has to stick with Raphael and not switch between turtles or other weapons. I thought this was a really cool idea ever since I saw Benevolent Dick's entry, so I decided to give it a shot for this video. It took me a number of attempts, but I managed to get to the dam with only Raph in his size, so I think that's respectable. Just like this Konami title. TMNT gets a big thumbs up from me for the box art alone. Classic Mirage era Eastman and Laird. Gotta love it! TMNT definitely has a bad rap and deserves much more love and respect. I could have easily put it at number 1, but I feel that there's another that gets much more undeserved hate, and that is... Hell yeah! Tim and Jeff Fallen for the win! Anything those two produce is gold, and any game with a Fallen Brothers soundtrack automatically deserves some respect for that alone. Fortunately, Silver Surfer contains more than just exquisite tunes. This is absolutely an underrated shooter, albeit one that can be a bit unfair. Okay, a lot unfair. Yes, one of the biggest criticisms of Silver Surfer is that it's brutally hard and it's way too easy to die. It really can be difficult to determine what can and can't kill the Herald of Galactus, and the one-hit deaths can result in a hair-pulling experience. This may be painting the picture that it's impossible, but it's not. Hard as it may be to believe, it's totally beatable, as shown by the awesome skills of Jason of Arthur x Jason in his Beat This Game Today episode. I'm nowhere near his level, but with enough patience and practice, I'm sure that I could be. In the meantime, I'll just continue to soak in the audio excellence of the Maestro's Fallen. And that's a wrap on the first top 10 video. This has been a lot of fun, and I definitely plan on doing more of these in the near future. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching it as much as I did making it, and I hope that I've encouraged you to look at licensed titles in a new light. I'm not saying they're all great, because they're not, but there's definitely fun to be had with them if they're given a proper chance. Anyway, the next video coming out on the 6th of May is an LJN Defender episode, one that's been long awaited since the beginning. Until then, this has been Cygnus Destroyer, reminding you that just because a game is based on a movie or TV show doesn't mean it's trash. Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching, everyone. Before I go into my normal spiel, I just want to say that there's a slight change to my schedule. I decided that I'm actually going to move up my videos to Mondays now, every other Monday instead of Wednesday. So that's just 2 days earlier. So that means that you guys get the videos sooner. So, hey, that's cool, right? So can't complain about that. So yeah, every other Monday. So like I said, it was the 6th. It was really going to be. It's actually going to be the 4th now. Monday the 4th for the next video. So come back on Monday the 4th for the next LJN Defender, but until then, you can watch these videos. Now on the upper left-hand corner is the LJN Defender playlist, so if you haven't seen them, or if you've seen them and you want to watch them all over again, you can click on that. It'll take you from the Back to the Future episode all the way up to the current one on the WWF NES games. So a lot of good stuff there, so check it out. Now on the upper right hand corner, you've got the Last Innocent Till Proven Guilty on Action 52. That's actually a two-parter, very epic episode, but I've got, this is the link for the first one. So you can watch the second one after that if you want, but for now, there's the first one. It's good stuff. Now on the bottom left-hand corner, you got something a little different. I was interviewed recently by a radio show called The 5 Count. So you should check that out by clicking the bottom left-hand corner box there. It's we talked about video games and YouTube and other stuff. I had a good time talking with those dudes, and I think you'll enjoy listening to it. And as always, for everyone who's new to the channel, you can click that red box on the bottom right-hand corner with Jake and Pong above it, and that'll subscribe to the channel, and you'll be able to keep up to date with all of my current content. So, like I said before, it'll be the 4th for the next video. It'll be Monday the 4th. So come back then for the next LJN Defender. So until then, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.